I'm going to start straight away. The question is, the very first slide is for you. Somebody walks into your store, he's a 40-plus client. I want to know, what do you do? Can somebody have answers to these questions? I would like at least 5 to 7 opinions, and whosoever can come out with whatever best option they do. I'm a 40-plus myself. I walk into your store. I ask you this simple question: what would you do when he walks in? What is your question? What would you ask him? What would you do with him? Hi, I'm going to take the mic. I've actually got this mic for you. So I'm going to come down to you. You can hold the mic here, please. No, good morning, you have to go forward. Good morning won't get you the 10,000 rupees you're looking from his pocket to get out. Tell me, what does it go further beyond this? I need to
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How can we help you, sir?
Introduce me. Introduce yourself to me.
I'm Ajay Bhargav. Actually, we've got a small optical store at Derabasi. It's near Chandigarh.
Near Chandigarh.
Around 22 kilometers off Chandigarh, towards Delhi. Yeah. So, in fact, the greeting is the most important and the very first thing which matters to the customer, because then he feels that it's your own shop. The eye contact, your ability to recognize him, and to appreciate that he is there in your shop.
Okay, he walks in, you say good morning.
And the greeting. Good morning means the greeting.
The greetings,
and
yes.
to acknowledge that he is welcome into your shop.
Yes, okay.
And then obviously he would tell his purpose, why he has come. Maybe he is wanting to get his eye tested.
Tell me, I'm wanting to ask you the same question. He walks in, okay, forget about the eye testing part, because that's controversial. Somebody is given -3, somebody is given 275. I'm not going to get into any of these controversial topics. I have come to the point, he's come in. Let's say he has a prescription. What do you do? Please.
Then we'll get him selected the frame.
Okay, that's one answer. Can I look for other answers? Select a frame is one. I need to know more answers, please. I need at least 5 to 10 answers. Please keep your answers ready. What do you do?
उनकी क्या ज़रूरत है ये जानने की कोशिश करेंगे.
अच्छा चलें ठीक है. क्या ज़रूरत है आपको चश्मे की?
Lifestyle.
He's come to you. What क्या ज़रूरत होगी उसको? वो
नहीं, lifestyle क्या है? उसकी needs क्या है?
Okay. His profession. Okay. His profession.
Profile.
What does he do? What brings him here? And what is his need? Okay, that's a good answer. I definitely would like one answer like that. Anyone else? I want to know answers, please. I'm not going to leave you guys so quickly. I'm going to go to each table to find out. Yes, please.
We try to access his all spectacle first. What kind of spectacle he's using?
Straight away?
No. Just after these steps.
He has a prescription in his hand. Now tell me.
Now he needs a new spectacle.
Okay.
We just test the old spectacle. What kind of glasses he uses? What kind of frame he is using? Try to understand what kind of the product he wants. Is a progressive one, or is a premium one, or a mid-range one? Try to assess his pink capacity kind of thing.
Now this thing, I'll interrupt here. This is a perpetual patent answer for opticians. Now whenever anyone comes to me as well, he's already been taught by different opticians when he goes for a progressive. Since you mentioned a progressive, I'm actually cutting across on my main objective right now, but I want to answer this. Everyone's constantly talking as an optician, sir, इसमें ज़्यादा बड़ा आएगा, इसमें और बड़ा आएगा, इसमें और बड़ा आएगा area. Am I right on what I'm saying? This is exactly what we do.
More or less.
And my apologies, I never do this. I have never done this, because you have to stand out how you sell. You cannot sell how Essilor tells you to sell or how Zeiss tells you to sell. I have never sold like this. So you go back to the roots, start off again, see what he has. Now I'm going to tell you a lot of places where I decline to give a progressive. कि नहीं देना. Sorry sir, आप 2 साल के बाद आइएगा, फिर बात करेंगे. So you have to, get this inside your system, that how do you say no to a client? It's extremely impossible. Somebody's come to buy X product and you say, okay, no, not right now, you buy it later, please. How difficult is it to say that? You have to figure that out. So coming back to where we were, anyone else with what he would do or she would do, please? I need answers, please. You guys, anyone on this table? What would you do when somebody walks in? You there? Yeah, please, go ahead. I want to know, please. ले लो, कोई बात नहीं है. बताइए आप, जैसे आपको अच्छा लगे.
When customer comes in our shop, we ask that what do you type, which type of frame you like, and what is the, first we see the prescription, either it's single vision
Okay,
or
we'll stop here. You see the prescription. That's what I was trying to get at. First thing he walks in, I mean, a lot of times I would say, show me the prescription.
Yes.
That's why I mentioned he is not here for an eye test.
Yes.
8 out of 10 times, the consumer does not approve of an eye test from an optician. Let's face the facts, he wants to go to the doctor. The doctor sahab will give me the prescription, then I will come tomorrow with the prescription.
Yes.
So that's usually the answer. So he has the prescription. Now you read the prescription.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a very good answer, but what would you do then?
After that prescription, we have to, first we see either there is single vision or bifocal.
Okay, good answer. Yeah.
After that, we judge the customer, he's rich or not.
Okay. Is everyone listening? Is everyone listening? He says he's rich or not. How do you determine if he's rich? Now you've changed my entire focus towards what I was doing. Tell me, how do you know that he's rich? I need to know.
Sense.
This is a trick question.
By sixth sense, and first we see.
Sorry. Hang on.
By sixth sense. By sixth sense.
Sixth sense.
And another thing, we are just watching. He's coming from which car?
Okay, very good. I actually have a slide for this car thing, I think, as well. So he walks in a Mercedes. So you give him a what? A Verilux S. Am I right? Where is the Verilux guys here? Okay,
Not
X. Okay, X.
X series.
There we
It's
go.
the
The
premium
Verilux guys
series.
are here, very ready to give their
We
X
are-
immediately the moment the phone call comes. Yes.
Near about 3 to 4 months, we have dispensed near about 5 to 7 pairs X series.
Okay.
In my
Okay.
retail shop.
Okay.
So after that, then we
But my question remains. He's walked in a Mercedes.
okay.
You are certain he's going to buy an X because he's come in that car. He's well-off, rich customer.
Yes.
Okay, I'll come to a very amazing, this is right at the end, I will tell you. It is not a hard and fast rule. Does everyone agree to this part? A guy walking in from a Mercedes will not buy a X series.
Yes.
Right? Does
Yes,
everyone
yes.
agree? He
Yes.
could be out with something as low as 500 rupees from his pocket. That's the maximum.
But we can explain the product. So in future, he will just create a mind to purchase that.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let's have one more person. You want to do it, please?
First thing is that we ask him, he is fresher or old user of any glasses, prescription.
Fresher तो सर आपको एज से ही पता चल जाएगा.
ना ना बहुत से लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिन्होंने पहले यूज ही नहीं किया.
He's given you the prescription.
प्रेस्बायोपिक करेक्शन फर्स्ट टाइम ही आया 40 प्लस पे, उसके पहले उसने कुछ यूज ही नहीं किया.
Okay.
तो पहले तो अपने को ये डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा.
प्रेसबायोपिक करेक्शन पहले है ना. ऊपर क्या है? ऊपर +1 है या +1 है, नीचे +2 है. आप बताइए. आप
बेसिकली आज भी हमारे देश में जिनको डिस्टेंस में नंबर होता +1.75 बहुत से लोग इग्नोर करते हैं. जब हम उनसे पूछते हैं तो वो यही जवाब देकर मेरे को सब दिखता है.
प्लस वाले, माइनस वाला नहीं करेगा.
माइनस वाले भी करते हैं मैक्सिमम. आप अगर
-150
आप प्रैक्टिकली आइए. हम अगर मेट्रोज की बात नहीं करें तो छोटे छोटे सबद में बहुत लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते कि मेरे को चश्मा है.
Okay,
बहुत लोग.
Okay, so I'm going to close this here. Is anyone missing? Sorry, I'm going to go to the next bit that I'm talking about. So ideally what I wanted to say is that we are coming to the prescription is the most important part that I need from the consumer. The moment I look at the prescription, I know what to do. Now what are the kinds of prescription you will get? So I'm going to actually use the whiteboard here. I'm going to get at least 5 of you to come up and tell me what it is all about. So, okay, I'm going to write down a few prescriptions that I think will make sense. I'm going to just shut this off, sorry. Actually don't know which one. That's the first one. This is the prescription he's got. This is both eyes. Huh? So I'm just writing a simple prescription here. Can somebody tell me what to do when somebody walks in with this prescription? Please, it's very, very important what I do. This is what I've done for 20 years. And I've decoded this formula of getting the customers to you the right way. Please help me find a solution. Who can come out with a solution? What to do, please? Upesh, you want to do this? Come. Use the other marker. Use the other mark. This is the distance power we have. This is the ad. I hope everything is very clear. I have not written distance vision, reading vision. ये वाला use कर लो.
So because here the ad is 1.75, so age is approximately 40 to 47 years.
Yeah, 47.
So he is not an early presbyope. So need to do a profiling whether he has been using a reading glasses before or a bifocal.
What do you
What
think? I asked
correction?
you, no,
the
no.
past correction.
I ask you this question. What do you suspect this fellow has been using a progressive bifocal ever again? Yes.
Single vision.
99% he's using a single vision already. Now the question is, what do you do when he walks in with this prescription? You know, he had a +1 earlier, he managed. Chal jayega. 125, okay, manageable. 150. Now he comes, this is the new prescription. Sometimes I have this problem of reading. That's the first thing he says when he puts his prescription. What do you recommend? He's not saying progressive, he's not saying bifocals, he's not mentioned anything. Please come up. You're right here. What do you give him? I want you to write it down. Yes. अच्छा, हाँ ये तो उसने बताया. आप क्या करेंगे? My question is this. उसने तो बताना ही है. This is we are here to find a solution for you. I can read. So what will you say? Thank you very much. It was nice having you. Go back home and enjoy yourself. No, I'm asking you. Sorry, I'm only asking you as an opinion. I'm only here to take an opinion of all of you. So what would you individually do? We'll find a solution which fills our coffers and fills our pocket. We will find a solution, but I'm as of now trying to find out what permutation and combinations we have with different prescriptions that comes out to us. I'm sure you guys are all opticians. You go through these prescriptions, people come out with these prescriptions to you, and you constantly will be after their lives, -2, 175, patapat, sir, progressive bana lijiye, Verlux S aaya hai, X aaya hai. Where's the X guys? Essilor, Verlux S, X is the latest. Why don't you take this? And fantastic. Kitna hai price abhi? 20,000 ho gaya? Kitna ho gaya? 20 plus ho gaya. Okay, so there you go. You had your day. But I'm just trying to say, how do you reach that stage? My question is just very simple. He's very right, the gentleman here, who says that yes, he can read without glasses. The very next moment, he could walk out saying, thank you very much. फिर मैं इसी से काम चलाता हूँ, फिर बताऊँगा आपको मैं जब अगली बार आऊँगा. No, I'm asking you, sir. I'm only here to ask you questions. Okay, that's very important. That's what I'm coming to. That's what I want to hear. You ask the gentleman, what does he do? What is his nature of profession? What's the need? Now, usually what happens is that he's able to see the distance very clearly with his -2 distance glasses. He's able to read without his glasses extremely well. आपका जो वो Verlux S में जो छोटा सा scratch आएगा, he can find out faster than even and better than even you can. The scratch that came into the fitting, the tiniest of scratch. So, you know, it's very easy for him. So thumb rule not to, I mean that's a different topic, but to hide your scratches, get all your lights as yellow and not as white. This is what I've learned over the years as well. Just the thumb rule I'm telling you, वो light में देखता ही रहेगा, आपको कोई scratch नहीं नजर आने वाला. We're getting extra brownie points from Essilor, I hope. Okay, is that right? You're not giving me extra brownies. Okay. So coming back to this, so we've got this prescription. So ideally what I would do, I'd tell him, you know, he's come for the first time. You have to understand how and what stage he's reached to not being able to read with his glasses. Because ideally, you know, you have to pinpoint his weak point. He's a professional. Works on the computer. That's the safest bet because 9 out of 10 people work on the computer. And depends on where you are, of course. If you're in a small town, then you have to give another reason. You're in a metro city, then guaranteed he's a computer user for sure, good computer user. छोटा सा village है, छोटा सा गांव है, then accordingly you have to focus. हाँ, mobile पे डाल दीजिए. Exactly. You can pick out different products to entice him to buy this product. Of course, to his capacity. You have to see how much he can spend. He wants to spend money on a small Verlux E space and you want to give him a Verlux S, he's going to run away as well. So don't make that mistake. I'm using Essilor examples because they're sitting here, otherwise I'll be the last person to do that. But coming back to it, so ideally we would gauge him. If he's using the computer, get his weak point. He has a problem on the computer, because he will have a problem on the computer. चश्मे के साथ भी, चश्मे के उतार के, चश्मा उतारा जी दूर जाके अच्छा नजर आ रहा है, and he's constantly struggling. And if you give him reading or take off his glasses, then he's trying to struggle going too close to the computer. See, he needs the right distance. So you have to figure out the reason to give him a progressive, which could be a very good reason. You know, you can pick out his profession as a weak point for him and a strong point for you. So everywhere you have to pick out different points which will benefit you for your sale to make and to happen. So I'll give you one more prescription, which is going to be interesting actually. I hope it's all clear, I'm not sure. Can everyone see this? Please, this is my toughest job in the entire time that I've worked. I don't know if everyone agrees to this. You give this prescription a progressive, 95% failure rate.
No, 100%.
I'm telling you.
100% success.
Fantastic. Then it's fantastic. You're wearing one. Now I need to know how does this work and what would one do. Plano Edition 2 walks into your store, please. I want answers again. Sorry, this, please.
For viewing TV or watching movie or working on computers, reading, mobile, everything.
Everything is okay? You wearing a Plano Plus 2?
Yes, yes.
Excellent, so very good.
It's a
So
perfect
what
lens.
would you do? You normally would recommend just straight away give a progressive? It works very well. I'm not talking about you yourself. The 100% does not end here, please.
I give my examples.
That's what I said.
I
You've
make
given your
them
example.
there.
Yeah, but I want to know how many of them actually you recommend and are successful.
At least 5 out of 10.
Most of them?
To be honest, yes.
Okay, so this is a very tricky question because I have myself also found myself in a quagmire because I feel that, you know, most people you need to gauge what they want. He wants only reading glasses and you give him a set of 5,000 rupee progressive. Tomorrow he could come back. So, sorry, where are you based, ma'am?
Dera Basi.
Dera Basi.
Dera Basi,
Okay.
that's near Chandigarh.
Okay, so that's probably a decent area. I'm looking at smaller towns. Anyone from smaller
Hey,
towns?
we have villagers also.
Okay, sorry, you do.
Yeah. It's a suburb.
What do you face, sir? I'll give the mic to him. Please.
Mostly, if any, like this number, plain by addition 2, when patient come with us, then first we ask that what is your work? If he is telling that we are in bank or any other, what he is working.
No, Plano Plus 2, you see the most important part is it's a hyperopic power.
Yes.
You have no power for distance.
Yes.
And you have everything in the reading area. Now I'm wearing, let's say for example, she's wearing a progressive Plano Plus 2. Now the problem that you would face mostly, all hyperopes, they would say this, okay, I can read very well,
Yes.
but you know, the distance is going to be a problem. Am I right?
Yes, yes, yes.
That table is quiet. Bhupesh, please. Is that correct?
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, you're not the only one who could not have a problem. We're talking generically. Ma'am, side का distortion भी तो है ना? सबने X
वो
थोड़ी पहना है.
डिस्टॉर्शन आता है सामने, आप कितना भी आप कर लीजिए ना, ऊपर हल्का सा 0.25
Sorry?
तक आएगा ही आएगा.
You wearing a Plano Plus 2? Okay. Ma'am, there you go. You have the answer from somebody sitting here itself. That's why I said I'm extremely happy that you exist. To me, there are very few people who exist. No, I'm not giving psychological examples. I'm giving you practical examples. As I said, I have done this many, many years, and I feel this is the hardest. Now, another tough part that you'll face in a Plano progressive or a small power progressive. Another question. Now, she's wearing a plastic acetate frame, for example. Okay, now anyone would wear it. Or let's not talk about Plano. You can even talk 0.25 plus minus, either way, 0.25 SIL, anything plus 25 SIL, pretty much in the same bracket we talk. Okay, now I'm looking straight. I faced this problem long back, about 10 years back, I think. And he says, okay, reading is okay, but this is also fine, but I have to do this to see my distance clearly. हाँ, अब ठीक है. ऐसे नहीं देख सकते. What do you do now? Acetate frame, please remember. What can you do? This is the complaint the consumer comes up with. Please, can somebody come with answers? Who had the mic? Where is the mic on? Yeah. Sir, नहीं हो रहा ना, वो कह रहा है मुझे, you see, he's wearing an acetate frame. He's not going to walk like this. You want him to walk like this? He's not going to walk. वो चलेगा ही नहीं ऐसे. He says, मैं तो ऐसे भी देखूंगा, ऐसे भी देखूंगा, ये भी करूंगा. So I need to see everything clearly. Yes.
उसके लिए फिर आपको फ्लैट टॉप या राउंड टॉप पे जाना पड़ेगा आपको लिए. एक तो क्या है, मोस्टली अगर किसी यूजर्स को अगर 40 की एज में अगर प्लेन बाई 1 लगा देंगे तो उसको आगे कभी तकलीफ नहीं होगी. लेकिन अगर जो ऑलरेडी क्रिप्टॉक बाइफोकल डी बाइफोकल लगा रहा है उसको अपन प्लेन बाई 2 या 2.5 लगाएंगे तो उसको तकलीफ जाएगी आगे. वो बहुत ही रेयर क्या है, वो 5% केस ऐसा होगा कि वो केस सही होएगा.
Okay. Any other answers, please? I want 2 more answers and I'll find out solution. Sorry, can I get the key? Sorry, segment. Segment तो खत्म हो गया ना सर, फिट हो गया, ये इस चश्मे में फिट हो चुका. नहीं, फिट हो गया. Chapters closed. The damage is done. Now tell me क्या हुआ और क्यों हुआ and how it can be corrected. I'm giving you only factual examples जो आप रोज फेस करोगे. You know, I was actually telling somebody here, I'm giving out a lot of secrets that I've learned over the years, which I've never shared even with my staff. These are trade secrets I'm going to tell you, and a lot of them I'll share today. So I want you to tell me, what would you ideally feel what has happened? Okay, not giving out planar power too often, that's a different thing. But this has happened, what needs to be done? I want an answer, what can be done to fix, or what would you do? 0 power progressive, planar plus 2, please. He wants to talk, please. I'll come back to it. Mistake though we know, sir. Okay, you can tell me the mistake also, either way. Okay, that's the answer. It's not been fitted little up. You need to fit it lower. सर ये +6 कर्व भी तो है ना, +6 बेस भी तो है ना आपका. हाँ, ये कहानी अलग है, इसका आंसर मैं आपको थोड़ी देर के बाद दूंगा. अभी हम सीधे सीधे सिंपल सादे चश्मे की बात कर रहे हैं. सिंपल एसिटेट फ्रेम, what has happened? He's very correct in saying that you fitted it incorrectly, you should have fitted it lower. Now fitting is correct, but you still fit it lower. That's what I'm trying to say. So as a thumb rule, what I do, which I do on a regular basis, I ignore the charts of Essilor, I ignore the charts what everyone gives. I would normally fit a plus power progressive 1 to 2 millimeters higher. You will see this happening in real life. It works like magic. And minus powers and planos, 1 to 2 millimeters lower. Nobody does this. Everyone's constantly looking at center, sahi nahi hai, centering pe aaya, nahi aaya. Figure out where the problem is. I said, fit it 2 millimeters lower whenever it's a negative power or it's a 0 power. Especially for a negative power, fitting it lower will not go wrong anywhere. You have this prescription, you fit 2 millimeters lower, what will happen? Anything can go wrong, nothing can go wrong. Worst come worst क्या होगा, 1.75 से ज़्यादा आपको 1.50 एडिशन मिलेगा, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. He is more concerned about your distance power. Sorry. Yes, tell me, sir. Oh, please bet here.
And that means his side vision will reduce.
1 to 2 millimeters, sir.
1 to 2 millimeters.
I'm not talking too much.
The center corridor is, you see the shape is like this. So that shape will come down. So wherever he is looking down, that place if he goes left and right, he will not say correct.
Doesn't make any difference. I've used them time and again. You're talking about positive or negative? Please tell me an example. I'll
when we
place
say we
it.
are doing it lower.
आप prescription बताइए. यही prescription -2?
And any progressive power, if you, the only problem when it comes when you're fixing it lower is that the corridor, especially when suppose you're using specs regular or e-space digital, which has a shorter corridor. I'm not talking of
e-space digital has one of the worst corridors for computers.
Okay.
I
So
can tell you
then
this. I
when
don't
a
use
person,
that.
so when the corridor is less and you have shifted it down, when he looks at a lesser distance to read and he looks a little left and little right, the cylindrical power will add to it and he'll feel discomfort and headache. Both the problems are going to
Okay,
come.
another answer to
So
this.
the best answer according to me is to fix it at the point.
It'll
Our
not
success rate in progressive is 99.9%. I think in 2 years, last 2 years, I've got only one complaint. 3 years, okay? One complaint only. And otherwise, people are satisfied.
I'll
Reason
ask-
being that if you're accurate on the point, neither, it is very scientifically designed. If the fitting cross has been given, my suggestion to everyone, don't mess with it. It is a scientist, it is an expert who has decided it. If you mess with it, you're landing into a problem. That's my personal view.
I'm not here to go by the book only. So I'm giving you, as I said, only experiences out of my own self. When I said 1 to 2 millimeters higher, for example, I had actually 2 cases just very recently. +1 add 150. Okay, I'm ignoring the cylindrical, whatever they could be. And the moment you push it up, the person is just super happy. Because don't forget, in a plus power, when you push it up, what does she get more? The reading. अगर आप 2 की जगह 1.25 भी देंगे, although this is not the case where it's happening for distance, nothing will happen. But if you change the power for reading by only 0.12 also, the client is going to scream. I understand your success rate being very high, but I'm here to discuss the most different of cases that you can imagine to have. I'm sure other than you, there are lots of people who face a lot of problem time and again fitting progressives. And the hardest will be an acetate frame. Am I right? No nose pads, so can't adjust. There's nothing you can do. Abhi jo maine pichla example diya tha plano par, actually you just have to take out the lens, get a new one, get 2 millimeters lower and you'll be okay. This is how it works. But there has been one case, which I can discuss later on a case study, where the person very clearly told me, because she's so used to a higher progressive, and that was the only case I've had in my life, about 3 millimeters higher than her center point. That's the answer to your question, sir. I fitted one progressive exactly to her center point, but somebody had made her got used to a 3 millimeter higher progressive for distance, plano power, hyper-ope, and she was very happy. So it's not a hard and fast rule. Just like medicine, we can't have a solution for every problem, the same solution. Every case is different, every person is different, every solution is different. So this is my only logic. So anything else that, that excites the consumer, the first... नहीं होगा मैम. आप देखें किसको इंटरमीडिएट ज़्यादा चाहिए, रिमेंबर दैट. एक तो आप लेंस कौन सा यूज़ करती हैं उस पर भी डिपेंड करता है. द ट्रिकी पार्ट इज द चीपर प्रोग्रेसिव्स. When you use a more expensive progressive, 9 out of 10 go right. The tricky part is somebody wants a progressive in 4,000 rupees. And half the people here might just say, oh, I recommend Kodak. Now, Kodak is actually, according to me, is one of the most difficult progressives to give, because the price range could be anything from 1,800 rupees to, I think, 7,000. Can anyone help me with that? So, you get into a different problem. Mr. X comes in, he says, I got a Kodak lens. Aapka kitne ka hai? And I say, okay, 7,000 rupees. Oh, I got this for 2,000 rupees. So he does not know what Kodak it is, because it has 10 different products within Kodak. And I was talking to Rajan recently because he came to ask me about Kodak. He's this guy for Kodak now. So, and he says, what can I do? So, first I told him, get this sorted. I don't go to a restaurant which has a menu of 7 pages. Some restaurants which have a very brief menu of only 10 products are very good restaurants because they don't make mistakes. You see, the menu is so short, he has only 10 products in it, 10 things to eat, 10 dishes. So I would say 8 out of those 10 will be very good. So that's why Kodak, according to me, did not work too well, because of the price factor. Sometimes I give somebody for 3,000, he says, oh, I got this for 2, somebody says 7, 5, could be any price. Am I right, sir? I don't know, if you use this. What is your opinion? What have you faced so far? Have you faced any problem with the product or this price issue? Absolutely, that's true. No, there's no doubt about it. But we need, you need to still figure out the cost factor. You will lose a lot of clients if the price is different. It's happened with me as well. I'm sure it's happened with everyone. There is no claim to fame that X person is always done well on this. There will be problems time and again with you as well. Somebody might just walk out, nahi ji, wo dukaan bahut mehengi hai. Kya mehengi hai? Because he used the X product. Okay, you used, what lenses do you use, if I may ask? Might as well ask you. Excellent, okay, so fantastic. So let's say you use a lot of X. You will face this. I'm sure what I'm going to say now next is going to be a problem with some people. You will gauge a consumer when he walks in, the same 40 plus, and you will see his prescription. Okay, he can afford it. And you give him an X product, let's say a Verilux S or E or X, whatever according to your logic, it makes sense. And then the person goes away, he spent 20,000 on the lens and about 10,000 on the frame. So that's about 30K gone from his pocket. He goes back home. This is a very honest example I'm giving you that people face when they go back after they bought. Very happy. You asked for a question that very happy. Yes, the customer is very happy. He has no problem. So if the customer is happy as we were talking, it's all over. No, it's not over. That's what I want to say. And I'm sure you understand what I'm coming to. He never comes back to you. Are you understanding? He never comes back to you. How will he determine that you're expensive? Please tell me. Give me an example. What makes him say you're expensive? What is the criteria? Okay, then? Some cases yes, some cases still no. Because what has happened, in fact it happened yesterday with me, why should I go too far away? Anyone uses Nikon here? Anyone? Okay, probably I'm the only one then. So Nikon is another part of Essilor, you can say, and I'm surprised that nobody is using, but Nikon is a high-end lens, and I use a lot of Nikon Presio Masters, Presio Ws, and Presio Advance, and Nikon I. So very good lenses, all of them, fantastic, even better than the Verilux series, I would say, and very easy adaptation. But I will not, debate anything about supporting one company on this. But the problem is, I gave somebody a Nikon Presio Master with transition. I think about 41,000 he paid me. And I talked him out, sir, bahut acha hai, ye hai, photochromic, blah, blah, blah. I gave him the usual things that everyone would give. You would give, anyone would. He bought the lens, walked out, everything over, done. He comes back to me, fortunately. Now the customer that maybe you were whispering about, he never came back. But he comes back to me 5 days back. In fact, I met him about 2 hours back again. So he says, yeah, jo wo diya tha na, wo theek hai, lekin it wasn't worth it. Because I have another lens, which was a 6,000-7,000 rupee lens. Wo theek hai bilkul, koi problem nahi. So he came back, but there's a good segment that doesn't come back to you. So you have to make it comfortable for him. Not only by telling him what you're using, but also make him comfortable. Because what has happened in these cases is that the person's gone back home and he goes to a party. A 45-year-old will sit in a party with 45-year-old boys, men and women. And he will say, oh, ye maine X Chandigarh se opticians se banaya hai, and I paid 22,000 or 32,000 for the whole thing. What are you talking? Ye dekhiye, 1,500 rupees ka frame hai aur 3,000 rupees ka lens hai, 4.5. And he will just get furious deep down inside. He's extremely happy, mind you, with your product. And the moment he's sitting on a dining table, I'm telling you because this happens, this factually happens. I'm sure you guys will agree to this. Am I right? And he will go back and he say, oh yaar main chuna lag gaya, whatever he would pick out with. This company or this fellow I went to, yes, it's good, but I don't think it's so expensive. And the person who's spent 7,000 is extremely happy because he says, I'm good. But you see, a Toyota Corolla guy has never tried to sit in a Mercedes or a BMW. That is the problem. You can't forcibly make him sit there, which you have. And then who suffers the consequence? You and nobody else. वो नहीं आएगा आपके पास, no matter what you say. There is an invisible vanishing customer which you will not be able to control. For me also it happens. But I continue to do what I do. Now that's the good answer. Whatever you're doing is correct. I'm not trying to debate this. Please continue to do what you're doing. You're selling high value products, that's fine. Because what will happen tomorrow to your advantage, whosoever's coming back or being recommended back, is happy to buy whatever you're selling, which is why he's coming back. So you don't have to go down 5 steps to recommend just for the sake of making a sale. So you could do that also. You could also try to cater people differently. So it varies from person to person. There is no thumb rule that I can follow. So that's my logic towards this thing. But as I said, coming back to the very first question where we started, the guy walks in, the first thing you do is ask his prescription, figure out what his prescription is. I'm closing this here. You pick out whether you need only distance, reading only, progressives, bifocals. A lady is, in a kitchen. She only does kitchen work, khana banaya, and that's all she does. And you forcibly try and sell her an expensive progressive lens. She might not like it. You could also do a bifocal very simply, which I would normally do. Do you want to value addition? You can do value additions on the bifocal if you want to do. There are somebody is selling invisible bifocals. Rupesh, yes? Invisible bifocals available. So you can do invisible bifocal. Cost you 4 times the price. जी वो line नहीं नजर आती है. Yes, sorry, you have a question. Anybody with mic? Yes, sorry. Yes. Yes. The mic is gone here, so sorry. Sorry, I want to hear you out properly. You had a good question. Please.
I'm just telling there is a new product of rod and stock.
Have you tried it, sir?
Yes.
Have you tried it?
Yes.
Works well?
Yes, it's work well in comparison to the progressive.
How much does it cost?
Near about 3,500.
Okay. How much
To the
does a
customer.
bifocal
No,
you sell for?
To the customer.
And I'm only talking to the customer. We're not here to discuss wholesale prices.
Yes.
So, and a bifocal?
Rod and stock is smart bifocal. It's no line bifocal.
So yes, I know the product, so I'm coming back to it. So, and the bifocal, the regular KT and D, what do you sell that at, for example? कितने में बेचते हैं D bifocal या crypto bifocal, round bifocal?
Mostly depend करता है
800,
कि
900,
end
1000 रुपया मोटा मोटा.
1000 रुपए का.
So we have a value addition about 2,500 over and above that. So this is what I'm talking, sir. Somebody who's cooking all day can also be value added by just adding a product which may not be a progressive. You can't forcibly jump the client from here to here. Take your time. I refuse a client a lot of times. In fact, a +2 plano, if you ask me, 99% I will just give him a reading glass and I say thank you very much. I have not pushed for a progressive personally. And honestly speaking, I would say I have a 100% rate on that. Nobody has complained that aapne mujhe ye kyun diya, why don't you give me a progressive? So for a progressive, I play a very low risk game. I make sure when I do a progressive, I always am 100% certain when I give it. I don't want that person coming back.
You can try no line bifocal.
Bhupesh will tell you I do this every week, sir. I sell this product every week. So that's why I said I wanted to hear it out from you. Then me giving you a lecture on the product, it might say I'm their agent or something, so I don't want to do that. But I'm only here as an individual like you. I'm somebody like you who sells the same product that you're mentioning, and I've sold it many a times. But it's not as simple as well. So you have to be careful when you give it up. But yes, that's a good value addition you can do. So that's definitely there. Okay, let me just... Now these are some examples that I was trying to give. I tried to use a slightly different example. I think we used the Plano 2 already. Anybody with the last example? Now I need answers on the last one. Who has the mic? You have the mic, right? I need an answer to the last prescription. +2 + 6, add 2. Anybody? I need 5 answers. Let's see if I can get 5. Anyone from any table? The question is the last one, sir. I'll come back to one more later, but as of now, I'm looking at the +2, right eye, left eye, +6, add is +2. This guy walks in, he hands out this prescription. Not much of a very strong computer job or anything, regular job. What would you recommend? I don't know, sir. I'm asking you. You have to tell me the answers. I'm not giving you a solution. No. Ignore that. I'm just saying +2 + 6, add 2. This is the prescription. The guy walks in, you ask him his prescription, he hands out this prescription. Ignore everything else. Ignore the slide. Just read +2, +6, add 2. What would you recommend? Okay. We'll come to the frame design part later, but what lens will you recommend? The second part, the lens product. What would you recommend, please?
D bifocal or round top?
Sorry, who's that? सर माइट बी से तो गाड़ी छूट जाएगी ना, माइट बी में अगर सही नहीं रहा तो फिर क्या करेंगे? +2, +6, 1.6 इंडेक्स, बोथ आइज में दे दें, और कंफर्टेबल नहीं होगा तो फिर क्या करेंगे? 6 को 8 कर लें, आप बताएं। 8 कर लिया मैंने। अच्छा, देना प्रोग्रेसिव ही है। अच्छा ठीक है। Okay. Any other? So we're talking only generically. Everyone's a James Bond at times on his day. I need to know answers from anyone that you can figure out. What would you do? We are looking at safe answers. You have to keep the customer. You do not have to let him go, please. Yes, sir.
Preferably a plastic frame and a bifocal lens.
Okay. Has anyone got this as a case? क्वेश्चन ये है सर, +2, +6 और एडिशन 2 है, आपने क्या करना है? ये वो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लाके उसने टेबल पे रख दिया, मुझे चश्मा बनाना है। व्हाट विल यू डू? सिंपल आदमी है, कोई कंप्यूटर यूजर नहीं है। नहीं, okay. I'll come back to this answer. I wanted to hear the gentleman. I've got it. Thank you. आपके पास भी आ रहे हैं सर? Sorry, you said a plastic frame and a bifocal lens. Okay. Sorry, anyone else from this table? Sorry, right eye में?
प्रोग्रेसिव राइट आई में और लेफ्ट आई में सेम नंबर रख देंगे।
No, he's okay. So you'll do a. Okay, I've understood what you're going to do. Okay, anyone else? Nobody is talking from this table. हाँ बताइए ना कैसे करेंगे? Okay, good. Anyone else? This table, I need an answer. This is the quietest table I have. What would you do, sir? Anyone here? Tell me. Okay, single vision. This whole table says single vision. Okay, yes. Honestly, if you want to survive and play it safe, yes, single vision. I have tried this time and again, and it works. Because somebody with this prescription, please look at the prescription very carefully. The ad is not +1, it's +2. Very carefully you look at it. That means he already has a part solution already there. He's not started, he's not a new presbyopia. You know this prescription, presbyopic guy, will actually be starting off very early. Maybe 39, 40 he will start. He's not going to wait till 50, which is what he is, or 49, to start this prescription and ask you for a solution whether he goes for a separate glass or a bifocal glass or a progressive. But yes, this gentleman has given me an option which is very interesting to try. I've not tried it, to be honest, but you said you tried it and it works. On a regular basis or only this case once in a while? Sometimes, and it works. So I've seen people trying this in contact lenses, but this is not my session on contacts. But that works in contacts better though. I have tried it once and it worked very well. Sorry, you had some other answer. Bifocal could also be an option, but honestly speaking, I've not seen extremely high success rate with bifocals in this kind of prescription, because you see, the difference in power is way too much. So you're bound to face a problem with the bifocal. I'm not saying too much of a problem, but yes, a progressive is definitely going to create most problems of the entire lot of options that you have in this prescription. It does not work as well. I don't know if people agree. If somebody raises his hand and says, "Maine kara hai fit," so I'm not going to deny that he's not done it. But as I said, we are not here to do a specific case study on a particular person. We are talking anyone walking in. So this is the easiest way to do it. Pick up 2 glasses, simple. आपको पैसे चाहिए उससे, महंगा frame दे दीजिए, and it'll be all good, all to your favor, and he'll go back happy and smiling, and so will you be. There will be no complaints either way. So that's how this works. The last, I have the 4 with 3 sill, 1 with 2 sill. I'll end it right after this. Anyone, what would you guys do? Ad is 175. I actually have somebody like this last month who came in. This 4 with 3, 1 with 2, I would say he came to you first when he was a plus 125. For example, it's not 175, suppose it's 125. Anybody with an opinion, what would you do? Straight away? Okay. The question the person puts up, he says, I'm okay. Sometimes I have a problem when I read at night. What would you do? 125 now, not 175. Ignore the 175. I'm saying first time he walks in, sometimes I have a problem when I read at night. What would you do? So ideally what we say, we send him back, right? Yes, we send him back. This is from a very heavy heart. I've done it many times. And this is one of my actual secrets I'm giving you out. Send him back. It's very hard. 2 बज गए हैं, कोई सेल नहीं हुई है. This guy walks in, 20,000 का customer, and you say, sir, अभी रुक जाइए, अगले साल आइएगा. Take my word, he's not going to go anywhere else. Am I right? You've experienced it. And I'm sure some people would when they do it. It's with a very heavy heart you have to tell him back. Sir, अभी सवा एडिशन है, अभी थोड़ा वेट करते हैं. Let's talk next year. And believe me, he will come back to you only next year. You know, because deep down inside, you go to a doctor where you have a problem and you consult him. He's a surgeon. And he sees your scenario, he says, abhi surgery nahi, agle saal dekhenge. And you know, deep down inside, you feel extremely happy. My God, this guy is a good doctor. He has me right on his table, ready to cut me up. And he says, no. And that's exactly what you will do. You say no. Wait till you come to this prescription of 175. Sorry, I'll just point it out. Can I? Yeah, I don't know how this works well. Okay. So yeah, the 175 prescription is when he comes. Now he's ready. You see, he's come back after 3 years. I don't know, people have got cases like this. Anyone who can tell me? Yes? Can you share it? Oh, you have a customer like 4 with 3 and 2 with 1, okay. So this is what I'm getting at. He's absolutely right, and this is what I do regularly. Anybody with a high negative power, thumb rule, and he is not fully ready, he says, thoda problem hai, send him back. Believe me, he will come back, and he'll come back bigger, better, will buy blindly what you sell him. And when he comes back with this prescription, she's laughing already, I think she's already done something like this. When anybody comes back and sees this prescription and you see it, you can give him whatever you were about to give him at double the price also, whatever it is, as in double the value. He will be happy to take it. Will not defect, will not listen to anybody's nonsense when he sits on a dining table with somebody else with half the price of progressives, will not do any trouble for you. He will continue to come back to you, will not defect to any other optician. This is what I've done. Try it, test it. It works like magic. Try it. Go back home, try it once. It will work. हाँ जी क्या पकने दो फसल पक exactly, so something like this you can say that. I will not do anything. Okay, frames, anyone with frames? Yes, sorry, you have. I'll go back to it. Yes, yes. You, anybody with a mic? 1 second, I'll get the mic to you. No problem. Yeah, please.
A little more technical thing to add in all this.
Please.
The visual acuity is not mentioned in all the cases.
Yes.
Even the third case, like +2, +6. If the left eye was not 6 by 6, you give him anything, it will not matter.
Yes, okay.
Right?
Got a point.
The same is for the first case. There's so much of anisometropia, and if your vision is 6 by 6 both eyes, then it matters what you're talking. If it's not 6 by 6 both eyes, it doesn't.
Yeah, but
so
it
in
is.
these cases, if +2, +6 was 6 by 6 both eyes, he has to be technically given a contact lens in one eye.
I would. as
eye
well,
would,
yes,
yes?
yes.
And then we would give a progressive or anything over
Actually,
it.
it's not a contact lens session.
Yes.
That was all
So
your
no,
session.
No, it's actually telling, in these cases, the Worth 4 dot test and understanding diplopia or suppression was more important to discuss which two. So we would also, I would say, just add in that check the binocular status. If there is anisometropia and there is suppression, then everything will fit in.
Oh yes, absolutely. No, it's not, as I said, it's not a contact lens topic
No,
right
it's
now.
not contact lens,
Otherwise,
it's
I would have
spectacles.
loved to give this last person a contact lens, and it works like magic as
If
well.
plus 6, usually this case would have been suppression in the left eye. Obviously, the hypermetropic would. So he may not be 6 by 6 with plus 6. So it will not matter. His only one eye is working. So that is why
Which
even
is
if
what
you
he's done.
take-
That's why I said it
that's
works.
What he did
That's why I
was
said it will
successful.
work. It will work. That's why I said
That's
it will
why I
work.
said.
It will
So
work.
what is more important in such cases is to understand the binocular status and the quantity of vision in those higher power eyes.
Yeah, but as I said, I was trying to pick out what people would do
Yeah,
when this
that's
prescription comes in.
general.
So I didn't want to get too
So
complicated.
I
on it.
just wanted to add technical.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes?
Your choice of
You're asking me?
sorry, the crowd includes you, so.
No, anyone. Sorry. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so will you look for a regular corridor or do you look for anything else? Because what you need to understand that I completely agree what Ms. Professor Monica was trying to tell. When there is a significant amount of power difference between right and left eye, anisometropia, contact lens has got an upper hand. But if this kind of situation, today thankfully we have different designs available which can compare the right hand lens and then you can synchronize these one. But given a chance, there's a significant difference. Would you opt for a regular corridor or a short corridor? That's the question. And why? Yeah, -4 and -1. And what is the logic for that? No? No? Anyone? You're partly right, yes, short corridor, but not for a wrong reason what you selected. So what do you think, Mr. Rahman? I mean, this condition, what will be your choice? What do you recommend?
Oh, in -3?
-4 in one eye
four
and
with-
-1 in the other eye.
-4 with 3 sil, is that what you're talking?
Yes, correct.
I would normally use a wide corridor specially, and in this case, I would normally do a Nikon lens, never use a low-end lens, always use a higher-end lens.
Right.
It will always work, because it's slightly tricky with a high cylindrical power. Never use a rimless frame, remember that.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
So I don't want to comment on the brand because I'm not here to particularly project one brand over other brand, so don't get me wrong on that one. So I will not talk about the brand. I'm here to basically educate you on the dispensing aspects, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is that the moment you find a significant amount of difference between right eye and left eye, forget about the corridor length or width. You need to see there is a significant amount of prism imbalance in the corridor operates when the power is different. So you don't have any choice. The moment you find above 1 diopter between right and left eye, you must go ahead with short corridor. There is no other options. Are you getting? Otherwise, you will create a great amount of vertical prism imbalance between right and left, which will take a lot of time for the consumer to get adapted.
To add to
So
it,
that's
it will
the
have
logic.
to be not a very large
Okay.
frame as well. No, as I said, it should not be a very large frame as well, for that very reason. Because if it's a very large frame, you increase the thickness on the edges as well. Okay. I'll go forward because we've only stuck on the first slide so far. So acetate frames is one of the materials that we use. One second, where does this go? Yeah. So who uses what here? Acetate. A lot of people using acetate or no? No? Please, this is totally interactive. I need answers. Acetate. Who would look good with an acetate frame? I'm talking about a client. That's my other question. Anybody? No. Doesn't go blindly. You cannot go with an acetate frame with just about everyone. I've seen people, you give him an acetate frame, he looks like a clown. Try selling an acetate frame in Chennai. Possible? Can anyone help me, please? Acetate frames are fantastic, very comfortable, no nose pads. You're wearing one, ma'am, yourself. extremely comfortable, do not break, long life, everything is an advantage. But what would you sell? Somebody walks in, he's from Chennai or from Kerala, he's walking into a North Wala store, that's different. But I don't know if you're aware, but acetate frames are hardly sold in the South. Do you know the reason? Can anyone tell me why? No? ह्यूमिडिटी के लिए तो बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन फिर भी नहीं बिकता, नहीं बिकता. नेक्स्ट फ्रेम वाला आया, उससे पूछेगा साउथ में कितना प्लास्टिक बेचता है, कितना मेटल बेचता है. This is, as I said, this is a slightly off the technical bit. It's only a cosmetic question I have. What sells the most is gold and maybe a black brown metal. Anything, I mean, really doesn't matter. But you have a black brown metal frame or whatever, a gold frame. Now acetate, sorry, where did we move? Yeah. So yes, acetate frames are one of the materials of the of what you can use for your clients. I use a lot of it because in the North, it's a very simple thumb rule for acetate frames as I focus. I'm not a sexist, I'm not somebody who says good looking, bad looking, but when it comes to somebody walking into your store, he is spending a lot of money not to ensure that he can see better. Am I right, sir? He is there to ensure he looks better. So if an acetate frame looks better on you, you will sell it to him. If it does not, you will not sell it to him. Acetate frames sell the most in the north of India and least in the south of India. It's a mixed bag in the west and a mixed bag in the east. Is anyone from any other part other than the north here? Nobody? Everyone's from the north? Okay. So I don't know. Yes, you have a question. You're from the south. So am I right with what I said? No? Okay, tell me. I need to know. I might be wrong. Yes, I need to be educated. South में आप कभी फ्रेम वाले से पूछा आपने कि क्या बेचता है? No, no. Sir, I'm not selling one frame out of 100. No, she has a collection.
हैदराबाद में
हाँ.
वो भी चश्मे
No, I'm talking south, I mean totally south, you know, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, typically a typical south.
Kerala, Tamil Nadu,
Hyderabad, not so much. Hyderabad are typically like a Delhi metro, no? It's a metro city, so I'm not talking as much as a Hyderabad place because there are a lot of people from the north who move to Hyderabad, IT sector, but I have a lot of people who are my clients and who are living in Hyderabad, and they come back to me and say, oh, there is nothing available in Hyderabad. We have to come back here to get it. So coming back to the gist, yes, the advantages are long life, does not break, no nose pads, but the main point of disadvantage, which actually I was looking at an older person, maybe a gentleman here or somebody else, and I was carrying a plastic frame to make him wear one and see what happens when you change from a metal frame to a plastic frame, to an acetate frame.
Look older.
He doesn't look good, he looks older. I used to wear one myself. I don't wear one now. So when you see the individual, please see what are the benefits he's looking at. So a lot of people go by fashion, but you will see a lot of people who walk into your store, they, अच्छा वो plastic आजकल चल रहा है आप दिखाइए. So the moment he tries out one frame, has this happened? So this is not for me. But you know, it's good because you made him try one frame. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You can try it. It's good, and he can use it. So that's fantastic as far as he's individually concerned. But yes, there is a problem. If he does not have the face for it, you can't recommend him. But yes, a lot of advantages. The entire Western country, Western nations practically wear plastic frames, acetate frames, and that's used the most. Now acetate, what is acetate made out of? Again, a question. Somebody might be smart enough, somebody might be intelligent enough to ask you this question, ये कौन सा plastic है, क्या है? What would you have as an answer? I'm asking you questions which might come up. As I said, I'm trying to make it as simple, but at the same time, you must have the knowledge, what is this acetate material, where does it come from, who makes it, who's the good manufacturer, what is so special? Anybody? Can't think of it. Anyone heard of the name called Mazzucchelli? Nobody. Anyway, that's a family of people, big family. Anybody who has a hairbrush or hair, sorry, a comb in his pocket. Sorry, if anyone could give me a comb. Anybody? A comb? Maybe I can explain with that better. Now this is a plastic. Now high quality, I think this is a low quality plastic that we're using because this is in India, so half the time it's not going to be expensive. So this material, if a very high-end material of a comb, is also acetate. You see, this most likely looks like an injection molded plastic, which is the cheapest form of plastic that we have, which I'll come to next in the next slide. But it's an acetate. Most of the good combs that you'll find, they are made by acetate, in acetate material. They're blocks of plastics, and they are made by this company called Mazzucchelli in Italy. The Chinese are doing it as a copy, which they're pretty successful. But normally for hair ornaments, combs, this is where they use it for. And I think from 1850 or 1848, they've been using 6 generations into the field. Everyone's in the family is making acetate frames. Luxottica buys from them. Safilo, all the big manufacturers are buying acetate from Mazzucchelli. So first thing that they would ask, if you're too technical, ask Luxottica, what plastic do you use? So Mazzucchelli sheet. So that's another question that you might have tomorrow from your own suppliers. So you should be equipped enough to know what you are getting as plastic. So most likely what ma'am's wearing is an acetate, as I can sense already. So that's the material. So you must know that this is a fantastic product, very good material. The only trouble is, as it says, it doesn't get loose. You fit one progressive incorrectly, you're gone. You have to change the lens. I'm sure you've been through this. This has happened a couple of times with me as well, and it will happen. So you be prepared that it can happen. Some people see lenses differently. So you have to be prepared. But yes, this is a bit of a problem. With a metal frame, it's very easy to adjust the progressive. You can play around with the nose pads and you're good. You don't lose your customer, you don't lose your progressive. Injection molded. Now this is the cheapest form of plastic, which initially I think Lenskart started with. But it's a molded form of plastic, which is like a molten form. Heat karke usko dala and uska mold mein dala, and the moment it's made, the frame is ready. So I think you can sell these frames for as low as 500. I don't know what you guys sell it for, 500, 600, 700 rupees in retail. So ideally wholesale for as low as about $2. So, or maybe even $1. So this is the cheapest form of plastic, which I think as a good optician you should avoid. And if anyone's getting something like this, a lot of people, okay, this is brought in by consumers from overseas, I must tell you. Reading glasses, your ready-made reading glasses, people come in from overseas and get them. They say, oh, ye mere chashme mein reading glass ya mera bifocal dal dijiye, progressive dal dijiye. Has anyone gone through these people, clients like this? You get them? Huh? You get them and says, okay, just put reading glasses. Oh, this friend of mine got it. Leke khud hi aaya, lekin he doesn't want to admit it because, you know, it's embarrassing. He's carrying an injection molded frame, wearing a suit and a tie. He's carrying a 400 rupee frame from overseas just to save money. So yes, so never object to him. I would say just sweetly do what he wants to do. Okay, I'll do it. You can tell him one thing which will give an edge to you. Sir, it could break even in fitting. Because it will. And I'm sure you faced it. Brand new frame, fit kiya and tuck. It will just crack open immediately. Sorry? Well, that I can't answer, but I'm just telling you this is how it works with the injection molded frame. And you face that problem regularly. Metal frames, we have 3 options: Monel, stainless steel, titanium. Stainless steel used to be there earlier, but it's now mostly Monel that you use. Nobody calls out Monel. I think only one company in Mumbai sells it at Monel frames of their own. But normally most of them are Monel because they're lighter. There is less iron, as you can see. The iron content is minimal. But of course titanium is the best. But then you have to figure out if the consumer is ready for a titanium frame. You can clearly see there's no nickel. It's 40% lighter, and it's absolutely no problem for the consumer for a couple of years at least. He's very, very comfortable with the product. Gold? Gold, okay. No, I think, I'm not sure if gold frames sell as much. You're carrying them? Okay. I am not a commercial person at this moment, so I'm only here to see both sides of the coin. But just off the record, I don't sell too many of these. But the type of frames you sell also depends on the area you're in. Don't forget. There are people, I'll come to that, I have a slide for that also. But this is what you face. as I'll come back to this point of gold. I think you will have your answer very soon. And there will be some people who might just come back to you after I finish and might just give you a good order for this as well. Okay. Shapes. This is what people face. We have different shapes available. Oval, rectangle, almost more like a cat eye that women use. And then we have colors. This is the typical shapes that people use for business. And depending on what consumers you get, don't forget most of the consumers that opticians get will be more serious consumers. Especially the 40 plus consumers will all be serious. They're here for a job. Most of them are serious patients and want a serious look when they're there. Nobody wants a red or a pink color frame for a progressive most of the time. At least I don't think I've noticed too many people. So they're looking at formal wear. So you're looking at ovals, rectangles. Cat eye, a lot of people ask. I had one lady 2 days back. She's a crazy freak for a cat eye frame and a typical shape. And you'll find a lot of people with cat eyes. I want a pointed cat eye, I want a big cat eye, I want a small cat eye. So all kinds of shapes. You have, that's a very cosmetic thing, so depending on what one goes for. But it's still a formal look, whatever said and done. So it's still not frivolous. And then you have traditional colors that you can use. And of course, no plastics with bright colors in case if you're using a formal eye shape for serious business. Okay, recommending the right shapes with the right measurement. Now, this is another thing that you would do after he's gone on with your progressive agreement. No plano powers, of course, but I'm talking regular powers. How would you do this? How do you take measurements? What all do you take? I want to know again. Sorry, again interactive as I said. I want answers again. What all do you do? You've got him booked with the progressive, whatever the power is, and he's agreed to your progressive demands. He wants to know how do you, he's done. You need to do the measurements. What all would you do? Tell me all of them. It doesn't end on the PD. It doesn't end at the PD. You know that.
Pupil center marking.
Okay, what else? Do you check anything else? Tell me.
No.
That's it? You just do a pupil marking. The frame is from top to bottom about 17 millimeters. You're okay with that? You're suggesting a frame. Would you say no to somebody who's selecting a 17 millimeter frame? Now that's a tricky part because you need to say no to something that he's loved after half an hour of experimenting with different products. And he says, this is what I like. Now you do the marking. Oh, only 15 millimeters. Now what do you do?
Yes, with a short bhi nahi banega.
Bataiye na.
Single.
Okay. I'm just looking for opinions.
Convince for another frame.
Sorry?
Convince for another frame.
Okay. Anyone else? What would they do individually? No, please. Tell me. I want to know.
First, I won't show whatever he wants.
You will not show what he wants.
Whatever he wants, I will recommend according to my...
Your own requirements of the right size, right shape. Okay.
Whatever he says, show me this. This is not for you.
This is not for you, okay.
I would say definitely.
Okay. You see, the good part is, in a 40 plus consumer, he will listen to you. You get a 19-year-old girl, she will not be bothered.
Yes.
You will lose her. You try and do what this gentleman is doing for a 19-year-old girl for a single vision, you're bound to lose that client for sure. Take my word on it. Am I right or wrong? No, I'm just telling you, Vasi. Just to give you another stark side of the example, because I will compare a presbyope with a non-presbyope as well at the same time. So in this case, you will tell him, okay, this is not for you, and he will accept it. He's fine. Is that a fair answer? Anyone else at all? Any other measurements? What will you do, sir? What all will you take as a measurement? I need to know. Okay. Simple prescription, progressive, very easy, 6 by 6 power. I'm putting the visual acuity also in here, ma'am. Yes, okay, you do the PD. Yes, what else do you do? Okay. Does anyone do the pantoscopic angle? Does anybody know what a pantoscopic angle is? I've actually missed one point because I had to do this in very quick hurry, but I missed a couple of points here, but I've got them in my mind anyways, which you can also add from your side. So whatever you read, if it's not there, you can still tell me. What would you do? You have something to say? Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. First we show the frame to the customer, we have to check that there is a temples. We check the temples with cheeks. It is not pressing high. टेम्पल्स देखना है कि उसके ये चीक्स प्रेस तो नहीं कर रहे, उसके नोज ब्रिज देखना अपने को कि क्या नोज ब्रिज में अपना ठीक आ रहा है या नहीं बैठ रहा है अपना फ्रेम। और तीसरा ये है कि उसको किस टाइप का फ्रेम उसको पसंद करना है, राउंड है या स्क्वायर है, वो जब बताएगा तो अपन उसमें रिकमेंड कर सकते हैं कि मैडम आपका नंबर हाई है।
सर मेजरमेंट कहाँ जा रही है
ना, मेजरमेंट भी लेंगे वो मेन जब
सर मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट मेजरमेंट है। मेजरमेंट लेता है कस्टमर को भी अच्छा लगता है, बहुत टेक्निकली सुपीरियर आदमी है। आप क्या क्या मेजरमेंट लोगे?
फ्रेम सिलेक्शन के बाद होगा
ना। ओके you've got the frame in, now the measurements, what do you do? That's what I'm asking, I'm coming back to it.
फर्स्ट पीडी,
ओके
पीडी है मेन मेजरमेंट। उसके बाद अभी ये कि डिपेंड करता है कि अब कस्टमर सिंगल विजन वेयर है या बाइफोकल है। बाइफोकल है तो फिर उसके बाद अपने पास जो अदर टूल्स हैं जैसे एस्लोर के आई पार्टनर्स हैं, अगर वो प्रोग्रेसिव ले रहा है तो अपन आई पार्टनर में उसका मेजरमेंट करेंगे कि क्या फिटिंग हाइट आ रहा, कितनी दूर में वो देख रहा है, कितनी दूर में पड़ रहा है, उसकी कौन सी आई डोमिनेंट है, वो पूरा उसमें पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर में वो सब उसका बता देगा। तो मेन तो मोस्टली ऐसे ही कस्टमर्स को अपन देखते हैं।
ओके बस दैट्स इट। Profession is very important, that's what I've been stressing on all throughout. Where do you read? How far do you read? Because this actually happens, I don't know if everyone faces it, but a lot of people, after they've got their progressives, they will say, मैं तो यहाँ से पढ़ता हूँ जी। यहाँ ठीक है, लेकिन यहाँ से कौन पढ़ता है? I don't know if you face this, but I've had people like this, यहाँ से कोई भी नहीं पढ़ता, this is 12 inches, यहाँ से पढ़ते हैं हम। नहीं, आपने कहा ना कहाँ से, तो मैं उसका आंसर दे रहा हूँ। Okay. So you would ask him where he's reading, what is the additional power, and do you take any measurements other than the PD or just do the PD? Does anybody check the pantoscopic angle? I repeat this question once again, nobody said yes. Sir, नहीं, सब में नहीं आता ना।
आई पार्टनर मशीन में अपना सब डिटेल दे देता है वो।
मेरे पास आई पार्टनर मशीन नहीं है, अब क्या करूं? नहीं, मैं आपसे एक सवाल कर रहा हूं, अब नहीं है मशीन तो अब कहां से लाएंगे?
सर ये बाजू में एस्लोर वाले बैठे हैं, उनसे आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
बाजू में एस्लोर वालों से मेरे कोई बात नहीं करनी इस बारे में, लेकिन as I said, I'm not going to name any company here. You should be individually equipped to do that angle. See, मोटा मोटा आप देखिए, I'm not going to go into too much of technicalities here. We're not going into a lot of details. There's also something called a back vertex distance. I'm sure individually Essilor or anybody could ideally tell you about back vertex distance. The distance between this portion and the pantoscopic angle is the angle of the frame. It should never be too flat. आप कभी देखेंगे, play this game with the client. If he's not able to see it, instead of raising it, which you do, work this way. That's the angle I'm talking about. You will know that there is less pantoscopic angle to get your message across. It will not be clear till a pantoscopic angle is good enough. So this is what you have to work on and see what works the best. So it will, as with practice, you will know how you fit a product. So, but the fitting is very, very important. Okay, now this is something I would like to point towards. Every client is different from the other. How do you differentiate between them? As we were talking about professions, everyone has his or her own needs, and they would need different cases of what they want. As I said, I picked out a property dealer's example as the second point versus a university lecturer. Now, a university lecturer, what does he do? He stays in the university, walks around for his lecture, goes back into his room. There's not too much of movement around. So what does he need? Compared to somebody who's driving the car from A to B, आज इस client को ये घर दिखाना है, जिसको ये दिखाना है. What is the difference? Now, yes. What would you recommend him? ये सब 40+ हैं, आप समझ लें सब प्रोग्रेसिव पहने हुए। अब आप बताइए क्या करना है? मैं अभी बिल्कुल I'm taking a profile of a customer, lifestyle, profession. We are not talking lenses, we are not talking frame shape, we are talking the profile of the individual. What is he going to do? What will you give somebody who's driving his car 6 hours a day versus a university professor or lecturer who's hardly driving, who's moving from A to B? I'm not talking about the type of lens, but type of the as in progressive. You can do any progressive, but I need to know what is the difference that you'll face. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at. You would recommend him a photochromic lens because he's driving often, and you will say, okay, that's what I need. And the other one could either use clear or photochromic. That's an individual choice, but you could do clear also. Now, and similarly, when we compare a businessman with a computer professional, now a businessman, what is he looking at? Now, you will see this a lot of times. Somebody will take a Tag Heuer frame for 20,000 rupees. The moment you talk about a progressive lens beyond 5,000, he will scream. You see, that's the businessman I'm talking about. So you have to stick to him with only the expensive frames. Don't explain him the lens. There's no point. I have burned my fingers a few times myself. It doesn't work. I'm not saying it's a general statement. There are some very educated businessmen who would want a good product, but I'm just telling you that's one case you will get versus a computer professional. Like the moment a computer professional comes in, he will talk about his computer viewing area, his ease of being able to read. So what you need is the largest mid segment for the computer. So you figure out what is a good segment, talk to different suppliers, Essilor or whosoever you patronize, you can ask them, and they will guide you with what is a good lens for a mid segment, which gives you a better reading for the computing. And that's what I'm trying to get at when I'm comparing. Student versus a parent of the same student. A student would ideally go for single vision, playing more with colors and frames and shapes, while parent is constantly looking at how to save value by getting a better value for money product in a mid-range progressive. That's what most people will do. Take a mid-range progressive, mid-range frame, and they're happy with that. So just comparing the lifestyles of different people, please do not put everyone in the same basket because everyone is different in this. You cannot have the same formula for all of them. Now this is what I'm coming to. I'm sure where the gold gentlemen are here. So this is where your answer comes in. I'm sure you guys can associate with this slide very well in your own individual areas. I did try to pick out more of north than the south. But this is what I've seen works. You might have a different viewpoint, but you pick out your own area where you're based. And you will agree to what I'm saying to some extent, if not 100%. Is anybody wanting to say anything? What sells other than what I've written? Depending on your area. If I'm missing an area, missing a type of product, but this is out of experience that I've seen that this is what works. What about you, sir? ठीक है ये? So somebody in the Karol Bagh area, the West Delhi area, where there's a lot of pomp and show, the guy wants to live in a 2-bedroom small house with 10 cars parked outside, but he wants his Mercedes parked outside, will want to wear an expensive gold chum frame, doesn't understand anything else about it, but just wants that gold. So that's the area where you guys can sell your products better. So, the bottom people and the third last people are just not for you. Unfortunately, I belong to one of them, so I couldn't be your client either. But the last one and the third last will not help them. So you know where your market is now, sir. Am I right or am I wrong on the figures, places? So I've given you actually what happens because I get people from all walks of life from different parts, and I know what people want at certain times. I don't end up selling a lot of gold myself. But when a gold consumer or a gold frame wearer comes in, he will not touch any other color. Am I right on this? Can anybody disagree to what I'm saying? Somebody who loves gold, a lady is wearing a gold, am I right, ma'am? Okay, would you wear any other color? I'm just asking. You might, I think. Are you open to it? Sometimes yes? But you like the gold, right? Yeah, so that's the answer, what I'm trying to say. Somebody who likes the gold will continue to like the gold. This gentleman here also is wearing a gold. Am I right, sir? So you like the gold color. So it's not associating you with anyone else, but you want that color, so we will stick to your color. You try and change a gold wearer, you lose him. Take my word on it, you will lose him. He's very particular. Somebody who's a non-gold wearer, acetate, brush steel, he can play around. You can play around with black, you can play around with acetate, he can move around. Last time plastic, the other we can do a acetate or metal or whatever. He can move around with anything that you want. But you can't change a gold wearer. That's what you have to understand. As I mentioned, south of India is another market for all the gold. That's #1 market for gold. I'm not including Hyderabad in it, I'm sorry. But for everyone else, yes, it's a very good market. Okay, fitting. This is what I mentioned earlier, plus powers 1 to 2 millimeters higher, minus power 1 to 2 millimeters lower. I'm not going 3, 4 millimeters, I'm only going 1 to 2 millimeters depending on case to case. What do people use in polycarbonate? What do you guys use for rimless frames? I need to know this. This is very important as a question. And you face this problem time and again. Can somebody answer? Where's the mic gone? Mic. Airwear, okay. Okay, airwear, good question. Essilor is sitting here, so I don't want to criticize them at the same time. Airwear, good. Now she's mentioned a brand, sir, not anything else, yes? Okay. Anybody else, please? Why? I'll come back to you on this answer. Polycarbonate? Now I want to ask you, you sell a rimless frame with the polycarbonate? I'll ask you that question now itself. Have you faced any trouble? Okay, okay. Other than that, does it crack? The lens only. नहीं, मैं आऊँगा sir, आऊँगा. बिल्कुल नहीं टूटता? I need to draw this out to you. Do you face this problem? Can somebody understand what I've drawn? This is a rimless frame. There's these spots or small lines or cracks that happen, and I'm talking a polycarbonate lens and not anything else. Do you face this? कभी नहीं होता है? सर आपने कम polycarbonate fit किए हैं फिर. Rimless. No, otherwise also. Polycarbonate is a highly inflammable material. Does anybody know this? Highly scratchable material, extremely soft surface, but you can tell the consumer you can put a bullet through it, it won't go through. Right or wrong? Okay. But we are talking the problems that you could face with polycarbonate vis-a-vis MR8 or Trivex material that we have. There is a difference. Trivex material is more high quality optics. Bhupesh, you can correct me if I go wrong, please, anywhere. Am I right or wrong? Better quality, Trivex? So you will not get the lens cracking on the edges. Now this edge cracks will only happen with a polycarbonate lens. I'm not talking any brand, airwear or any other material. We are strictly talking technically here. Any polycarbonate that you use, it will crack. I've had 5 replacements done from Essilor time and again for polycarbonate and from others. It need not be Essilor that I'm talking. It could be any company where you will seek replacements. I don't know if these guys have actually found cases like this, what I'm talking, you've understood? Yes, yes, yes. What do you expect?
There's one more element is that one, I just want to rectify this point also that polycarbonate is a high index, it's 1.59. Trivex, if you make it prove why this crack happens, there are 2, 3 things. One, whether it's polycarbonate or Trivex, 100% guarantee, not even Trivex can give. It will not break, it will not crack. Even Trivex cannot give. You ask the guy who deal with the Trivex, write and give it to you, they will not give. 100% I can show you. Now the question is, how do you overcome these challenges? One, there is a special way to make the groove. So if you ask, I know I can talk only about Essilor fitters because we have been trained them. There is a special way of tilting the drill. Okay, so that's one. Second thing is there's a special tool available at this point of time supplied by Briod. So it's a special carbide drilling tool. And when you are drilling the tool also, after grinding for every 50 pairs or 100 lenses, you are supposed to change the drill bit. So there are precautions to be taken. Okay. And you know, this is one of the most commonly used materials across the world, polycarbonate. Okay, so you just need to keep that in also in your mind. Okay.
Okay, so the idea was only to talk about, not about any brand here. as I mentioned again. I was only talking about polycarbonate and Trivex. Now, polycarbonate, which my friend did not explain actually, is not a cast molding process. It's an injection molding process. Injection molding, am I right, sir, on this or wrong? Yes. Trivex is cast molded. So that's my logic towards better optics with regards to Trivex and polycarbonate. And I'm only here from a consumer point of view, what he could face as a problem. We are not the best of opticians with the best of machinery. So with whatever limitation an individual has, and he would face as a problem, I'm only here to help him out with the solution. No, that's not the way of looking at it. I'm trying to tell you that. When you say it's best areas of optics, are we talking about the material property? But there's no paper or nothing can prove that polycarbonate is better than Trivex or Trivex is better than... Okay, I'm not going to get into details here. Okay, I'll skip through this faster because I'm getting opposition from the other side. I don't want to go through this. Okay, just coming back to simple issues. I'm going to browse through this very fast. I've just been given a time-bound information. So there's basically what would you like as a customer, 20,000 invoice with a designer frame, single vision lenses. So ideally, single vision consumers are something that you shouldn't really go after. He's never going to be yours. He would come, buy, leave. He'll go to somebody else tomorrow. He'll go to somebody else tomorrow. A 40+ consumer is always yours. I would say nurture him right when he turns into the presbyopic age. Nurture him as much as you can, right from 40+. Add 125, 150, everything you should be able to get to yourself and get as much as you can with a 40+ consumer here. And that's my only, the logic behind this, that a consumer who's taking a progressive will be a far better consumer for you than a single vision consumer. So focus on the 40+ group. This is something I would ideally would have asked you, but since I'm brushing through this, I'll quickly go through the frame. It actually, what would you take in these two cases? I would say it depends on where you are. Am I right on this? So depends what one wants on the location where you're based is what you will get. So somebody who wants 2 frames or 1 frame, 1 good frame, 2 simple frames, so typically your individual choice that you will get. This is another thing I wanted to discuss. I don't know if people do this here, but gentleman here is also an independent brand gentleman. These brands are coming into the market, and people, big brands like Luxottica, Safilo, they're facing some competition from them. I don't know, is anyone stocking any of these? Anyone? Any brand? Have heard of them? Never heard of them? Okay, irrespective. I don't do all of them, but I do most of them here. So yes, these people are doing very well, and this gives you an edge to a big brand user, because this does not have a price that XYZ customer can compete on. Somebody you sell, let's say a Gentle Monster or a Golden Wood frame, there is very little competition that can be in your area to compare the price. A Prada frame can be easily compared. Oh, this frame, this is 17,700, I know it. And he's giving me a 25% off. How much are you giving me? That's a usual answer. So you have to get your niche consumer and find your ways of, finding your right consumer for this. So you have something to say? Okay. So this is what I would recommend. So if you could find a different brand that will help you out with a better solution to create a niche for yourself within your market, it will help. What is luxury? Asking you. I did talk about it very briefly. No, it's not rich, ma'am. It's in fact my next answer. A rich customer may not be the one who's looking at luxury. You will be surprised, a lot of middle class people look at luxury. I'm sure you've seen movies. There was a movie I remember, I can't remember, I think it was an Amir Khan movie, where a Sadaji goes to a restaurant collecting all the money, whichever way he could, to dine with his wife in a 5-star hotel. So he's looking for luxury, but he's not rich. So rich is not, sorry, you have something to say? Yes, absolutely. So yes, so I'm just trying to explain that it's not luxury. So if you do this day to day, every day, you will notice in your daily lifestyle, you will come across people who seek luxury. There was one I remember once, there's a girl who came in on a bicycle to me, walked out with a Gucci pair of glasses. And I'm sure each one of you have been through with this time and again, and you face this in your own setup at different times, and you would have seen luxury. But what I'm trying to compare is that if you have many of the same, it's not luxury, which is what we are doing. You can find a Bulgari frame anywhere at 50 opticians, and the same in this. So without naming any brand or anything, I would say it might not be luxury if it's available at too many places. An apparel brand, I think LV. Louis Vuitton has only one store in NCR. So if anyone wants a LV bag or anything, you have to go to that X store, and that creates a novelty of that store. So that's luxury. Luxury would mean exclusivity. Exclusivity does not mean luxury. Do you understand this? Does anybody make that out? So what would be an exclusive example of exclusivity? Can anybody give me that example? Not luxury, but I'm going to buy an X product which has exclusivity. Anybody from North Delhi here? North Delhi? What part, sir? Model Town. Kamla Nagar, you know? Chacha ke chole bhature. Exclusivity. Am I right on this? I don't know if anyone knows this. You go to this guy's place, he sells chola bhaturas, starts at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock he's sleeping. Sold out. Doesn't want to sell anymore. One store does not sell a single plate beyond 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, you're too late. Sells in a queue. Have you ever seen chola bhatura selling in a queue? He's a fantastic case study for me of not multiplying too fast too many places. He does not want to multiply. But he creates a novelty within himself. One more person, Kevinters, Connaught Place. Anybody knows that? He lost a case with the real Kevinters recently, which you're, I'm sure, not aware of, because all the other Kevinters that have opened do not belong to him. So I went up to him, I said, what happened to your board? And your Kevinters is every, oh, that's not us. That's not us. So that's exclusivity. He's selling a product for the last 60, 70, 80 years, and he continues to sell it. And people are coming blindfolded without asking. He doesn't have a board now. I have never seen his board, never bothered to look at it. Because I know where he is, I know what he sells, and that's how you need to come out with your best solutions. Nobody should look at you for your name. He walks in, he knows he'll get this place with X job done. So that's exclusivity that I'm talking. So you have to create a balance of luxury and exclusivity. Sorry, you have something to say? Yeah, no, Wenger's, next to Wenger's. I'll come back to this, you can discuss it after the class. Okay, display, somebody was talking about it last year. I was going through a video that people do not display frames and sunglasses. Quickly going through over it, do not display all your products. As you say, do not open your basket to everyone. Keep it hidden, do it one at a time. When somebody comes, "Bhai, itna hi hai aapke paas?" I'm sure you face this. You know? So you never open all your cards. Keep it close to your chest. We have lots. I will show you. And just like a jeweler, you have to show it to him one after the other. Do not display. If you're really keen on displaying too much, do the sunglasses, as I mentioned. Do not display your frames. Keep it as inside as you can. Just do a few so that he knows you sell frames also. Nothing beyond that. In fact, some people told me you've stopped selling frames because I hardly display too many now. Okay. Now, this is actually the most important part. I'll rush over it very fast within 10 minutes. Okay. So yeah, sunglasses. What do you sell to prescription sunglass wearers? I would ask you minus par, plus par, 40 plus customer, please. Huh? We're not talking anyone under 40. What would you recommend? Now we're talking sunglasses. So photochromics actually will not work. I'm sitting in my car, I come to you. This is the photochromic you made for me. It's not working in the car, ma'am. What do I do? Can somebody explain me this? Why is it not working in the car? That's right, that's the answer I'm looking at. That's the perfect answer. Windshields are UV protected. Photochromics are sensitive towards the UV light. You take a pair of photochromics, these are photochromics, you take these photochromatics, go to Manali in December, बर्फ पड़ी हुई है, आप यहाँ रखिए और बहुत सारी बर्फ डाल दीजिए. Take it out, it will be black. There is no sunlight. Has anybody done this? Please go and do it whenever you do a wintry vacation to Manali or any place where there's snow. Put your glasses with photochromics inside the snow and cover it with snow. And 5 minutes or 2 minutes later, take it out, it will be black. No sunlight outside. This is UV. The moment you go on to a high altitude, you get higher UV. So ideally what you need for a 40 plus, if he's wearing a distance pair, do not push him too hard for a progressive, he will not take one. If you want a high value, stick to a polarized lens and you'll be happy with that. He'll be extremely happy that it'll push your value, and he'll be happy with the product because it is a fantastic product. Any brand really doesn't matter. Just stick to polarized. And for positive, pick out the progressives. It will not take you too much of time. The moment he has a +2, +3, +2.5, any distance power, it will not take him a lot of time to pick out, to accept a progressive lens even for sunglasses. You can always tell him you're going on a holiday, you're lying down on the beach, you want to read a book, on a swimming pool side. It will only work if this happens. I usually take an example, you're driving a car, immediately a phone call will come, what will you do? You will at least see it, if not attend to it. So the moment you see it, you can't see it. So take a progressive, you have to figure out which progressive accordingly, but it is easier to sell a progressive prescription sunglass for a positive person for distance than for a negative distance power. I'm sure you guys will accept this, and I don't know who's used it, but this will work. To the consumer, it's enhancing your vision. That's the major advantage you have for progressives in sunglasses or whatever you're doing with sunglasses with correct prescription. That's the advantage. Of course, the number one advantage for prescription sunglasses that you will give him is UV protection. And of course, he does not show aging. Men love this, and some women do as well, that you can always tell him when you wear these sunglasses with prescription, it does not show. And a lot of people with the high minus powers will not show too much because most of the thickness in a sheet frame or acetate frame will get hidden. So you will see that as a reason for show. And contact lens wearers are actually also very comfortable with the prescription sunglasses. That's something that you would not agree to some extent, because people will say, oh, the contacts penning, and they will take the sunglasses on top. But actually, it's not 100% true, and it's not 100% happening. Now this ex-lady, Mrs. Shushma, she's going for a beach holiday. She wants a prescription sunglass. Why? Can anybody help me with this quickly? Yes, okay. She's going into salty water, she's going into sand. Contact lenses, sand, salty water do not gel. Just do not mix these two things. Just like we have this old example of alcohol mixing with something, so it doesn't work. Similarly, the same way, the salty water, sand, and contact lenses will just not work together. And she'll be extremely comfortable otherwise also. She's lying on the beach, she wants to read something. You can easily do it with your whatever, if you're wearing a progressive or a polarized or whatever you're doing. It's easier with a prescription sunglass. It also gives you more protection. Don't forget, ready sunglasses could be a very light color, which mostly people wear now. But when you do a prescription sunglass, you can do as dark as possible. You can do polarized, you can do progressive. So whatever you want, you can modify it to your requirements, which is what it is. These are the benefits to you. And I think I've already told you about this. Identify your spender. You could be in a small town, you could be in a big town, you could be in a metro city, could be anywhere. I'm not saying you have an ex-guy who will buy a very expensive product or a cheap product or whatever. You have to find out what he can do, and you have to value add that individual consumer to your benefits. How you do it is, I'm leaving it to you totally. It varies from person to person, and it could vary from any age group as well. So you have to identify. I don't know what do you get, sir, for example? What is the sunglass user that you get? You've not done too many sunglasses with the prescription? Okay, so you've not really seen that as a reason. What colors do we give for sunglasses? Can anybody help me with this? Why do we give brown? Why do we give green? Why do we give green gray? And why do we give gray? Help me. नहीं ऐसे नहीं होता आप मुझे बताइए ना मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ. You have a 99% success rate in progressives. I'm sure you can help me with sunglasses also. Yes, sir. From the? Okay, what is the contrast that we're looking at? Suppose I'm a golfer. What do you think I should wear and why? I've given you 3 options of colors. I can repeat those color options very quickly. We're talking about green gray as one color. I think we can call that G15, and we have a full dark gray and we have a brown. Why would a golfer use either one and why? Can anybody answer this simple question? Brown, why, sir? Please. 1 second. I might as well have one answer and see how he does with the answer, sir, please. Okay.
It enhances the color, perception of the color. So he needs the clarity. So I think he should use brown.
It basically absorbs blue light, and blue light is what we want absorbed here. And that's the main reason, because with blue light, it's also contrasting with the blue and the green. Now, what do golfers do? Where do they putt? On the grass. And where is the sky?
Yeah.
It's blue.
Green and blue.
So green and blue combination, so the best combination will indeed be brown for a golfer. Tennis player. Question again. What would he go for? Anybody? You don't have too many options anyway. You should be getting an answer immediately. Okay, do a green gray. I think that's a safer bet. But for everyday use, when you go out, just choose a gray color. It'll go very well. But I'm sure this is a different. This is new to you that a golfer uses brown. I'm sure nobody has done this. Also use brown more because of cosmetic reasons. Somebody has taken a gold frame. I don't usually use a green. I use a brown with the gold combination. Or a gray or a black frame. You use a gray or a green lens, depending on what you're doing. So that's another thing. People do wear, sir. You might not be a sports person yourself, but people do wear. I'm telling you because I play a lot. No, sir, tennis to andar nahi khelte na, tennis to bahar hi khelte. No, but they wear accordingly, na, wrap around and Oakleys, and a lot of guys do this. So I'm sure, I see them every day, so I will not deny that they do not wear. I watch them. Whatever I've told you in the last 1.5 hours is actually what I've seen. I'm not trying to make anything up, not giving you suggestions out of the books. It's all a practical explanation that I'm giving you. So I'll quickly browse over 2-3 case studies and I'm done after this. Now, a lot of cases I find where, you have different prescriptions and different people coming in. Now, some lady came in to me with a +3 with 125. I'll try and write it down also. Access could be any really, maybe a 130, I think, if I remember correctly. This is the prescription she had for reading only. And she came out with it. This will get you an extra brownie point. I'm quickly closing this. Please listen to this very carefully. She was given a 65 diameter lens ready stock. And that's what most of you will do. Am I right here? Yes, sir. +3, 125, 130. Simple reading glass, no complications here. What would you do? Yeah, you are dispensing reading glasses, but she has a problem. I'm coming to that problem. She has a lens which is about 4 to 5 millimeters thick. She can't stand that. Yeah, but what? No, size वही है, कोई frame नहीं बदला मैंने उसका. अभी दिया है 5-6 दिन पहले. So just gave her whatever she had. ये एक चश्मा है, बहुत मोटा है. आप please कुछ कर सकते हैं इसका. I said, don't worry, I'll do what I can. Something if you do on your part, if this comes in, you will get your extra brownie points. All you do is pick out the size. कोई index की ज़रूरत नहीं है मैडम मैंने. Plus par है. Get a customized made to order plus par single vision lens. Customer cost no more than 1,000-1,200 rupees. And she goes back super happy. Ideally what you're doing in this case is you're making that consumer yours for good. The thickness that she came out with, just a week back I've done this, 5 to 6 mil, 65 ready stock किसी ने लगा दिया था. I took out that frame, 55 millimeter, 53 millimeter was the size of her frame. I picked out a lens for 55 millimeter, customized to her size, cost her double. But it was 1.5 millimeters on the edge. So the thickness came down 4 times. You know what she did? Opened a bag, 2 more glasses, please make this also. So you see, you have to find ways to keep your consumer happy. Do not always look at high value. Please try and go for better services, what the individual would be useful and what he would like. It's not always like that. If you want a display, a good display, it could help you. Yes, it's helped me as well. I have a Lux hairdresser right outside. I don't use that anymore. But I have a hairdresser on the other side of the road. And one of our clients went to get a haircut. He said, okay, I bought this frame from X person. He used to buy from me earlier, walked in. It was a progressive lens. And he says, just tighten this. So ideally what you could do, take your time in tightening. Because he's come to you after 3 years, 4 years maybe. My suggestion is take your time. उसे 15 मिनट तक टाइट कराओ आप चश्मे को. Because he will look around. There's a good 40 to 50% chance he will end up buying something. That haircut, if I have to tell you, cost him 26,000 rupees at my store just a week back. And he went out happy, came back happy, just told me one thing. Can anybody make that guess? It's the most funniest example he gave me. Anyone with a wild guess what he told me? He says, everything's fine, just one thing please remember. Any guesses? मेरी बीवी को मत बताना. He said, do not tell my wife that I bought this, otherwise I'm dead. So this is just to tell you, and you have to oblige that consumer. So these are important features that you will notice over a period of time, and you have to find ways in solving them. It's not always high value. Please try and find a solution for that person, and it will always be good for you in a way. One last example I'll give, and I'll close right here. There is an optician in Delhi. I will not name him. Everybody knows that person. There was a client who came to him. He says, anything new, sir? I'm here looking for a frame. He said, there is something coming. Please wait. Just wait for some more time, maybe about a week. He came after 5 or 6 days. So he was sent back the first time. He came back again after 5 or 6 days. He says, just 2 more days, sir. It's coming. And it's fantastic. It's beautiful. There's something very exciting to see. Please just give me 2 more days. The guy came back after 3 days. Then he specially stopped him. He says, yes, it's here. Please wait. I've got the products and it's only made for you. So he showed him 2, 3, 4, 5 different products or frames. 10 minutes later, the product was sold. Now what happened actually? There was an old tray lying for the last 2 years. Wait. Okay, yeah, I'll come back to it. But this is from I would say the top 3 opticians of Delhi. So I'm not going to name him, but you can figure out what could be the top 3 opticians. So he picked out a tray full of frames after that period of time, ignoring that client for 2 visits. He had that confidence that he'll still come back the 3rd time. Took out that same tray which was gathering dust for the last 2 years and sold him a frame out of that tray as if it came in exactly 2 hours earlier. So that's another way of selling. I'm not giving a lecture on techniques of selling today, but I'm sure I've given you quite a few hints and tips today. So that will help you. I could go on with a couple more, but I think I'm completely run out of time. Anybody with any questions here, please? Thank you very much. प्रोग्रेसिव क्या लगाते हैं सर? हाँ जी, हाँ जी, फ्रेम के साइज के हिसाब से। हाँ, पावर क्या है? काम करेगा कुछ केसेस में, कुछ केसेस में काम नहीं करेगा। मैं आपको शुरू में भी बताया था, कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल किसी का नहीं है, बट नॉट एडवाइजेबल। मेरे हिसाब से जैसा फ्रेम है वैसे ही लगाइए। हाँ, अगर आप मुझसे ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड पूछना चाहते हैं तो प्लस पास में शॉर्ट विल वर्क बेटर। ही इज इमीडिएटली नॉटेड। सो दिस इज आउट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, अगेन आई एम टेलिंग यू। अगर आपको गेम खेलना ही है कि सब में शॉट लगानी है तो मेरे हिसाब से प्लस में लगाइए, माइनस में अवॉइड कर जाइए अगर आप ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेशन में नहीं जाना चाहते। बट अगेन आई एम नॉट गोइंग बाय द बुक हियर, इट्स नॉट राइट ऑफ मी टू से दैट, बट माई सजेशन इज दैट यू कैन डू दैट अगेन ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड। I've given you a lot of things which are off the record, so please remember, don't quote me anywhere on these things. Any other questions, please? Yes, sir. Need a mic, actually. I can't hear you out. Thank you. Yes, sir. TR frames, that's, you're going very technically in detail. What do you want to know about TR frames? I don't have that much of time. I've only been given 90 minutes. I've shot by more than 20. You need another lesson for TR frames. But actually, they're not the best of variety, to be very honest. We've gone 2 steps ahead of it. There's Ultim that's come in. You might have heard of that also. So there's a lot of new things that are happening. TR frames are now the cheapest form of plastic frames sold in China. You go to China, go to one of the Guangzhou streets, where they sell wholesale frames. So they will sell you TR frames for 10 RMB, 12 RMB. You know how much that is? 130 rupees. No, it's not as good. Not as good, sir. Not as good as acetate, for sure. It's a much cheaper, closer. It's like injection molded. The TR frames are not the best of variety. It's flexible, light, yes, but वो, 15 साल के बच्चे को देना है तो ठीक है, but not for you. We are talking only 40 plus here, so it's not going to work in a 40 plus category. Do not give any 40 plus consumer a very basic frame that will break. He will get really, really upset. He's put in a 5 to 10,000 rupees of lens in it. Please do not compromise on the frame quality with the basics of the frame itself. My honest 2 pieces of suggestion. Do not do this. I would never use a TR frame with a progressive lens ever. Avoid. आप सस्ता acetate दे दो, बहुत सारे सस्ते acetates आते हैं मार्केट में, but give him an acetate frame, he'll be okay. He'll not come back to you for 2 years, and that's sufficient enough for him to go. All good? Thank you. Thank you very much.